All right, so this is directed to Ethel Kate Fambro. Okay, Auntie Ethel Kate, you never really dealt with me. You always kind of like dealt with Ava. Did you take something from me? Are you currently trying to take something from me? I remember when you came to court when I was getting back custody of Angola. I gave birth to her, and a couple of days later, the DCF came and took her. Well, that seemed like about 10 days later. That was about March 3rd or 4th. Now, Alva was the one that called the police on me, and when she called somebody, and first the fire rescue people came, they checked on the baby. They said, she looks fine. Everything looks fine. If you have any problems, you call us. That wasn't good enough. She called the police. She told me that Brent told her to call the police because her boyfriend Brent was living with us at the time, was living with her in her room at the time. And she said Brent told her women shouldn't give birth alone and I needed to go to the hospital. So she called the police. The police came with a different posture. They were asking her, did she have medical care, and who's her doctor? And I had my camcorder. I said, y'all ain't stealing no more babies from me. And I recorded everything. She called her supervisor. The supervisor said it was okay, that the placenta was still attached, all of that. But then several days later, after the police left, DCF came, and they said, oh, show us that you have a bed and a place for the baby to be, and we'll close the case. I showed them everything, and they still came back again. I think that's how that worked. It's been a long time. And I said, well, ask your supervisor. I said to the black girl, because of course the white lady sent the black girl in the house and everything after I pulled out the camera. And she turned her back to the camera. I said, well, why did you lie and say that if you saw that I had provisions, you were going to close the case? Well, she said she wanted to keep a 6-month case open. I said, no, that's not going to happen. And I think they kept the 6-month case open anyway. They did eventually close it. But until you came down and you went to court with me, I thought it was to support me. Was it to try to steal my stuff? Did you go behind my back and try to say she's crazy? Did you go behind my back and say that you were my mother? That's what I really want to know. Did you do that? Now, my mom, Dorothy Jean Atkins, died July 14th, 2006. So, are you a part of the little fraud worker team? Are you lying on paper and saying that you're my mom? Are you lying and trying to get my money given to you behind the scenes? So I'm just going to cast judgment. I keep hearing yes in my spirit, so I'm going to cast judgment on you right now. And if I have any power with the Creator, may the travesty that you have caused me return to you 100-fold. Now, I know you came here last year. Y'all were getting together to have some kind of party or whatever, but you've never seemed like you really liked me, cared for me, or anything. When you came here one time before, I took you to the university and took you to take your picture and pick up your alumni ID. That was a part of your retirement package. We chit-chatted for a little bit. Did you know then? My stomach is starting to hurt, I tell you. All I can think of is niggas disgust me. Are you a nigga, auntie? Yeah, probably so. I keep seeing Boo Boo hold that shotgun to your head. and you were sitting there and you wouldn't look at him. And we were in our little t-shirts and underwear, and we were so scared that he was going to shoot you. He had gunshot, blood red eyes. And, when you're a child, you don't know what grown people are arguing over. We don't know if you did something that warranted him being mad, not warranted him being mad enough to hold a shotgun to your head. Because we were scared. I was scared, I know. Lisa looked scared. Alva looked scared. I don't remember if Lil Bit was there. And I always disliked him because of that. Boo Boo, his name was what? Elvis? What was his name? I can't remember his name now. I don't know why I want to say his last name was Presley. So did they name the child Elvis Presley? I can't remember. But he came to the house years later. I was a grown woman at that time. He came to 6010 North 32nd Street looking for you and gave me a number. And I didn't know how to get in touch with you. To give you that number. But what I really want to know, Auntie, is are you right now today, February 14th, 2024, working behind the scenes to prevent your niece, Alene Dorothea Atkins, the third child born to your older sister, Dorothy Jean Starks, her maiden name, married name, Atkins, because she married Arthur Atkins, my daddy. Are you trying to steal from me? Are you trying to take money from me? Have you stolen from me? Have you done underhanded things to keep me in a unstable reality? That's what I want to know. And I guess I'll ask your daughters, Lisa Fambro and Marvis Fambro, aka Lil Bit, the same thing. Maketa's name keeps coming up in these tarot readings. Now, Marvis only has one daughter, as far as I know, one child, and that's Maketa. That name keeps coming up in the tarot readers. Is Maketa into doing black magic, spells, witch work? I know when I went to Savannah to stay with Lil Bit, Marvis, in that building that we lived in, her boyfriend's family's building, we didn't have lights, but we had shelter. And she bought fried chicken every day. She made sure me and Angola, because I was pregnant with Abby, had at least fried chicken to eat. And then, thanks be to God, I filled out for a credit card. I got a JCPenney's credit card, which allowed me to buy food at CVS. And I was able to get some, be able to buy food and stop eating out of her chicken box because she was working as a security guard or in the prison as a guard. And I came there because I wanted to give natural birth at home. She told me yes, and Anthony arranged it, so I should have known something was up. They were probably moving me out of the way so they could report me missing then. And then you called a little bit and had me get on the phone. And you said, you're going to have to go to the hospital. I said, Auntie, I already told you I'm not going to no hospital. I came here to give natural childbirth. Y'all told me in Tampa I could give birth at home. Now I'm here getting ready to give birth, and you talking about you going to the hospital. I'm not going to no hospital, Auntie. And that's why I left Savannah. Other than that, the girls and I would probably still be there. And I came back to Tampa. Because I figured if I'm going to have problems, I might as well be on my home turf and deal with these demons that, stole the twins. May 26th, that I gave birth to, May 26, 2004, at Morton Plant Mease Hospital. Then when I gave birth at home to Angola, February 25th, 2004, she'll be 17. Today's the 14th, so in 11 days she'll be 17 years old. And Alva called the police, and eventually DCF came and took her. So they probably, Alva, Anthony, Auntie, I need you to come and help me get custody of her daughter. That's what you thought. But God is great and God is good. So the judge said if the baby is healthy, who's the baby been with all this time? With the birth mother. He said if the baby is healthy, return the baby back to the mama. And I said, Your Honor, I don't trust your doctors, but if they tell the truth, you're going to find that my baby is healthy. And he said, well, I trust the doctors. I said, okay. And because of the ancestors, because of my mama, Dorothy Jean Atkins, and my daddy, Arthur Atkins, on the other side, and my granddaddies, Doug Starks, on my mama's side, and Lindsay Atkins, and his wife, Melva Atkins, on my daddy's side, my ancestors made them unask my baby and returned her back to me the next day. But I don't know what they did to her, what they done stuck in her, what they done took out of her. You see what I'm saying? When they took her from me, they took her off my breast. I was breastfeeding. They had 4 Tampa police officers and 4 sheriff officers on my line like they were coming to get a dope boy who's into heavy weight. And they were just coming to steal my baby from me. That shit is despicable. But that's how they roll around here in the South, South, South. This is Tampa. And they returned her back to me. You came down for that hearing, and then you disappeared. Now, I was thinking you came to support me, but now that I'm hearing all of the things that happened in the background, and Tarot is giving me just a little bit. The Creator God is dropping thoughts into my head. Some I can receive, some I keep rejecting. I'm like, there's no way she did that. There's no way they did that. And of course there's a way. Shit, my brother Anthony and that fat short sister Ava, them some ruthless motherfuckers right there. And you may be ruthless too. I don't know. But I want you to tell the truth. Even if you just sit down and have a conversation with me out loud. I'll get it. It'll move through the air. I'll get it. Because I don't really want to be fucked up with anybody from my family right now. I don't trust none of you niggas. I really don't. And it's despicable. And I don't expect you to apologize. I mean, you didn't get what you probably consider a fair shake in life. You didn't seem to really be able to get an education, but you worked at the University of South Florida. You could have took free classes. So you didn't want to develop yourself. You worked at the University of South Florida. You retired from there in housekeeping. So that means just like I got 6 free credit hours when I worked at the University of South Florida, you got 6 free credit hours every semester. And you didn't educate yourself. You weren't trying. So you didn't get a bad shake. You worked at a fucking university. You could have educated yourself. You chose to remain a country bumpkin. I don't want to get into name calling. I'm going to cut this. 1:58 p.m. And even though I have pretty much confirmation that you have destroyed my life, I'm still trying to respect you as an elder. Because that's the shit they taught me. Respect your elders. Like if an evil bitch get old, why do they deserve respect? And I'm not saying you're an evil bitch, but I believe you might be, auntie. And shame on you. I cast judgment. And if you're doing black magic against me or my children, you or any of my cousins, Lisa, Marvis, Maketa, I'm going to need you to stop that. And Eddie wasn't quite right either. I saw him in the auto parts store. He was supposed to be giving me a number. I said, I need to talk to Auntie. You know what number he gave me? The number that was to my daughter's tablet. But then Eddie started out stealing at 12, 13 years old. Lisa was putting him out the house. And I'm like, Lisa, you can't put a teenager out of the house. What do you expect him to do? He's going to turn into a criminal. He's going to end up in the system. But she put him out anyway. And what? He ended up a criminal, ended up in the system, came back over to you in Georgia, ended up stealing out of people's houses, and then came back here, back to Tampa. Now he's a young man. I can't do it. So a lot of this is probably voodoo geared. You all sacrifice the children and you take their destiny. You give them rocks. I'm noticing about this 18th birthday thing. When a child in our family gets to be 18 years old, some kind of devastation comes to their life. So who is the sacrificer? Who is it? Now, I always thought it was Irene Scarborough. But Irene is gone, so I'll be watching the patterns. I'm sure you all will be trying to gun for my children. Moon and a set already been sacrificed, and I'm assuming that was Anthony's doing. Could have been Ava's doing. Could have been Alva's doing. So their life is on the ground. Neither one of them have a high school diploma or a GED, and of course their lives look bleak, right? But now that I know that this is what you all do, I am a full-time prayer warrior. So negative things will be happening in your life because all your little spell work going to be coming back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you.